So a lot of things that can cause you from like having problems sleeping is what I would normally say. A lot of people say, oh, alcohol, I'm gonna have a bit of alcohol to help me sleep because alcohol like makes you drowsy.
Nightcap.
But yes, a nightcap, that's it. But
If you sleep in a hot room, your metabolism is very low, so you might get fatter. So you're wondering
oh,
why you're not losing that weight.
wow.
It's because of
Welcome to Consultation Room Podcast.
Welcome to another episode. Today we're talking about a topic that many of us can relate to. We're talking about insomnia. If you are like us, I don't know, Steph, you're exactly like me. Some days you have literally gone to bed and you're staring in the ceiling, you're counting sheep, and you're wishing that the morning doesn't come too soon. You are in the right place, because today we're going to talk about what insomnia really is, why you suffer from insomnia, what happens for you to have insomnia, and what can you do to tackle insomnia. So sit tight and let's get into it. So to start with, Steph, what exactly is insomnia?
Insomnia is basically the fancy term of basically when you're having problems sleeping. So you struggle maybe going to bed, sleeping for a long time. It's just really like, as Trudy said, you lay in bed like counting sheep. So you just find trouble sleeping.
Yeah.
And insomnia is basically it lasts for 3 weeks most of the time, but there are some people where it can persist for longer. So we have something called short-term insomnia, which usually can persist for like 3 months, or we have long-term insomnia, which persists more than 3 months. So as Trina mentioned, there are different symptoms that people can experience with insomnia. So Trudy, if someone came to you in the pharmacy and they were like, oh, I think I have insomnia, what kind of symptoms would you be looking out for? So what would somebody experience with insomnia?
Okay. So with insomnia, as I said, it is basically, it's not just not sleeping, it's struggling to fall asleep. So maybe they're struggling to fall asleep. They go to bed at, 10 o'clock, 11, 12, 1. They cannot sleep. That is one of the symptoms of insomnia. Another symptom would be they wake up too often. So in the night, they find themselves getting up every few hours. So not even just for a toilet, because they need the toilet, but it could be they're just waking up, they just find themselves awake. That is a symptom of insomnia. Or they're waking up too early. So you've not set an alarm. There's no reason why you need to be getting up at 4 a.m, but every day, 3:45, you're up and you go to bed, 11 o'clock. That is a symptom that you could be suffering from insomnia. And this could be, maybe you wake up very early and you cannot go back to sleep. So sometimes you can wake up early and then you're able to go back to sleep. That is not necessarily insomnia. But if you wake up very, very early and you're struggling to go back to sleep, that could be a symptom of insomnia. So those are the main things I would look out for. So if a patient says, I think I have insomnia, and then I'm speaking to them, they're like, yeah, it takes me half an hour to go to bed. No, you don't have insomnia, hon. You just need to get off that phone. So, these are the things we'll be looking for. We'll be looking for if we want to maybe diagnose insomnia, unless there's anything, Steph, that you would also specifically look for when we're talking about insomnia.
Yeah, I mean, you've mentioned like the common symptoms of insomnia, and I was just thinking, I mean, as Trudy mentioned before, most of us have experienced insomnia, and I was just thinking, what about me? What did I actually experience like when I had insomnia? And one thing I found when I had insomnia was that when you have insomnia, even though you're tired during the day, you may sometimes find it difficult to nap during the day. So that is also a sign of insomnia. And one thing about me, when I have insomnia or I can't, like, I
Mm-hmm.
have trouble I have trouble sleeping, I feel
Mm,
irritable during the day. Like, so
mm,
irritable, like my mood changes. I just
mm-hmm.
feel like everybody is like getting on my nerves, you know?
Yeah.
So that is something that some people can also experience. Like when you notice that your
Mm.
mood is just like, yeah, really
Changing.
off
Yeah.
during the day. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And another symptom which I could also associate with insomnia is probably like trouble like concentrating during the day
Yes.
because you're
Yes.
so tired, you know.
Tired.
But
Yeah.
yeah, those are the ones I would add to it. But apart from that, you've mentioned it, basically feeling very like tired,
Yeah.
making it very hard to go to sleep, you know, and
Yeah.
even waking up several times. Yeah, those are the typical symptoms that I would, yeah, associate with insomnia.
Okay.
Apart from, yeah.
Um, well, you've said something actually, and I thought to
Mm,
just go back to that point. You've talked about if, say, you're tired during the day and you cannot nap.
yeah.
I need to tell you something about myself.
Yeah.
I cannot nap.
Really, on a normal day.
Napping is a skill. To me, I always look at it as a skill. You either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
I don't have that skill. I don't know how people
Okay.
nap. I wish I could nap. I
Mm.
tell you why. So you know how sometimes you can be so tired. Maybe you've been up quite late, or you
Yeah.
went to bed very late, and then you wake up
Mm,
early. You don't have
yeah.
anything that the next day. So normal people would nap, right? They're like, "Oh,
Exactly.
I'm just a little bit no."
Mm.
As I don't know if it's my body that has just adjusted to this, but I don't have
Yeah.
insomnia. I know that for sure because I can
Wow.
sleep in the next night. But it's just because
Wow.
I think my body, and we will probably come to this, and maybe there'll be you'll see the relationship between what I'm saying and what we'll talk about
Yeah.
later. But I think my body has adjusted to when it's daylight and there's any
And
light
when,
shining.
yeah. Okay.
Why are you sleeping, Trudy? You're supposed to be out there, doing something.
Mm,
Beyonce does, has
mm.
the same 24 hours as you. Why are you sleeping? Kind of
I
thing.
see.
So I don't tend to nap for that reason. So I think it's
Mm,
also worth, the reason I'm saying that it's worth noting that as much as that could be a symptom for someone who, let's say someone who naps on a regular basis or can nap, but all of a
mm,
sudden, you're tired, but you can't seem to nap. That could be a symptom
mm,
of insomnia. Whereas for someone like myself, I don't know how to nap. My body doesn't know how to nap.
mm.
So it might not necessarily count as insomnia, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. Yeah. I mean, I'm a napper, but it's not all the time that I do nap. Like I nap
Yeah.
when I'm extremely tired,
Tired.
but
Yeah.
sometimes like as I said, if I have like insomnia, like maybe for a couple of weeks or stuff, I do tend to like struggle to even nap
Struggle to
during
nap.
the day. But on a normal,
Mm.
yeah, on a normal basis, if I'm tired, especially like
Mm-hmm.
with not sleeping during the night, with like a baby crying and stuff, during the day
Yeah.
when the baby's napping, I'll be also napping with the baby.
Napping.
So
Do you know what? I'm
yeah,
hoping that when I become a mom, maybe that's a skill that I'll acquire
you
because it
better.
will come in handy.
You
I can't be out here
better.
saying I'm not a napper. Like when the baby's asleep,
Honestly.
Trudy, you better force yourself to sleep.
Yes.
Speaking
Mm.
of,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
what are the causes? What could be causing someone to have insomnia? What
Mm.
causes you, Steph, to have insomnia?
So, what caused me to have insomnia? Pregnancy. Like, that is my number one, yeah.
Mm,
Honestly, people don't talk enough about when you're
enough.
pregnant and sleep.
Mm,
It is such a struggle. Like, when I was
mm-hmm.
pregnant, honestly, it's like you have to stay in a certain position. Like, I think you have to
So
sleep
is
on
it
your left side or
comfort?
something. It's the comfort.
Mm,
It's the comfort. You're not
mm,
comfortable. You're
yeah.
irritable. So
Mm-hmm.
you find out that you're so tired, you're not able to sleep.
Oh
You'll be
my
tossing and
God.
turning.
Yeah.
Yes. So pregnancy
Mm-mm-mm.
was my cause of insomnia,
Oh
but
my
obviously,
God.
yes,
Yeah. Do you know what
it
you
was.
say it,
It's
and now as soon as you say
mm,
it, it hit me. I'm like, oh my God, that's not even something I was thinking about. But I'm like,
yeah,
of
I
course,
know.
that is like the number one for women. Oh wow,
Honestly,
yeah, of
that was
course.
my cause of it. But obviously,
Mm.
after I gave birth, I've been fine. But
Mm-hmm.
when I was pregnant, honestly, it was so much hell, so much hell. Like I could not sleep
Really?
well. Yeah. So
Oh,
you
that's
find
not
out that
good.
sometimes I'll be napping during the day and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, you'll be tired during pregnancy because of
Mm.
like the pregnant, but the lack of sleep too was part of it
Yeah,
during the
I
night.
bet.
Yeah.
Oh,
So pregnancy is
wow.
my number one for me. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
but
I think for a lot of women, we'll put a
yes, for
lot
a
of
lot of
women.
women. Yeah. True, true. But when it comes to insomnia, there are many causes of it. So a lot of things that can cause you from like having problem sleeping is what
Mm,
I would normally say is stress, anxiety, and depression when it comes to your mental
mm-hmm,
health. Honestly,
mm-hmm,
it's something that a lot of people do not take into account. But when you
mm-hmm.
have a lot on your mind, your stress, obviously, it's going to be
Yeah,
very difficult for you to sleep, you
it will
know?
be.
If you're also feeling anxious about something, it's not even
Mm,
feeling anxious about something. Let's say, for instance, you have a condition like anxiety condition, that also
mm,
plays a major role on your sleep.
yeah.
When you're depressed, let's say you've lost a loved one, or you're just
Mm,
having like a depressive mood,
you're
that could
uneasy.
also, exactly, that could
Mm-hmm,
have a massive effect on your sleep. So
mm,
that is my number one when it comes to causes.
yeah.
Um, some people may not notice this or may notice it. It's very obvious, but if you're in a room where it's noisy, it's gonna
Mm-hmm,
affect your sleep.
yeah,
So if you're in a noisy place and you want to fall asleep, please, that's not going to work. Or maybe
yeah,
you're in a crowded house and there's a lot of noise, that's not going to work. That is going to
yeah.
cause you to have constant problems with going to sleep
Mm-hmm,
or even having a
yeah,
quality sleep. So noise is also a cause of like insomnia.
yeah.
Um, the temperature of a room. So this,
Yes.
I think, is the number one factor. Like, as
Mm,
as a couple, I think that's something we struggle in my house because
really?
I like my, yeah, because I'm very weird. Yeah. Like if it's
Mm-hmm,
summer, I want,
mm-hmm,
even not some, I want the room to be cool. I want
mm-hmm.
it to be cold,
Yeah.
where I'll just put something cozy on me and then feel all
Mm,
warm and fuzzy. I
yeah.
don't want it to be hot. I don't want it to be humid. Whereas my
Mm.
husband, he doesn't like the temperature to be cold. So we're
Oh, in the summer as
constantly
well.
like, if the weather is cool, he wants it to be
Mm-hmm.
cool. But sometimes for me, summer, if it's cool, I still want it to be cold.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
want
I know what
like
you mean.
AC or, yeah, but he doesn't like that.
He
He
likes the
doesn't like
warm.
that. He likes a warm, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas me, I want to feel a bit of cold and I could put like the duvet on me or something just to feel a bit
Mm.
warm and fuzzy. So the
Yes.
temperature plays a key role. So if you're feeling too hot or too cold, that can have an effect on your sleep. So
Yeah.
please watch that. Yes. Um,
Mm.
Another factor is also like how comfortable the beds are,
Mm.
or
That's for me.
maybe
Because I travel a lot.
yes,
Mm.
yes,
The first 2 nights of traveling, I
exactly.
struggle.
Exactly. Like how
Mm.
comfortable is the bed, the pillow, like maybe the
Yeah.
mattress, the cover you're using, like is it silk, is it, cotton, that sort of thing.
Mm.
Please check. If it's uncomfortable, it's probably gonna cause you to have like an uncomfortable sleep as well.
Sleep,
So
yeah.
that's a major cause of insomnia. Um, a lot of people say, oh, alcohol. I'm gonna have a bit of alcohol to
Hmm.
help me sleep because alcohol like makes you drowsy.
Nightcap.
But yes, a nightcap, that's it.
It
But in fact, alcohol is also a major cause of insomnia because
is.
although it would provide you that short relief of feeling sleepy, so you go to sleep faster, in
Mm.
essence, it also disrupts like your sleep cycle, the REM sleep.
Yeah.
So then you're not really gonna have like a comfortable sleep like at the
Yeah.
end of the day. So although
Quality
you
sleep.
sleep good quality sleep, exactly.
Mm.
So although like you're sleeping faster, in essence you're not really getting a deep
No.
REM sleep,
Sleep,
and it's
yeah.
going to lead to poor quality sleep at the end of the day, which will lead to
Yeah.
like insomnia. So all this nightcap, please, no, it doesn't work. Okay.
Someone's like, oh,
And
a shot of whiskey a night.
no.
Do you know those
Or
people?
bottle
A
of
shot of
wine,
whiskey a night.
Yeah. Bottle of wine and stuff. I feel like, yeah, in essence, it will put you to sleep quicker, but it's still gonna disrupt your quality of
It
sleep.
will.
Okay? Yeah. And speaking of drinks and stuff, also caffeine, can also disrupt your quality of sleep, cause a
Yeah.
bit of insomnia. Nicotine as well, so smoking, before going to sleep, again, can
Yeah.
disrupt your sleep. Illegal drugs as well. So speaking of like cigarette and stuff, don't forget illegal drugs as well can like cause a bit of insomnia.
Yeah.
We did speak about jet lag in our episode, and as you may know, jet lag interrupts your sleep as well, so which
Yeah.
can lead to insomnia. So that is a major cause as well.
Yeah.
For people that do like shift work, let's say you go
Yeah.
for night duty and stuff, you may realize that after a while you may be experiencing insomnia because like your sleep cycle is being
It's,
disrupted.
yeah,
So that is
definitely.
also a major cause, yes.
Yeah, or at
And
least during the change of the shift. So if you work
yes.
sometimes 4 shifts during the night and then you have 4 days off, the first day you have off, you will
Yeah,
experience insomnia. But
exactly.
sometimes, especially if all of these other things you've mentioned are not in
Effective.
in the same sort of situation. So they're basically you're having good sleep habit, all of this after the
Yeah,
first night you should be back to sleeping all right. But yes,
exactly.
definitely the first night.
Yes, yes, yes. I think another cause for me, which I would raise my hand on it, is like late night screen time. So before before you go to bed, you're like
Yes.
scrolling through your phone or maybe
Mm,
watching TV and stuff. And it's not good. Apparently blue light
no.
really does like disturb our sleep and stuff. So
Yeah.
late night screening, yes, maybe your
No.
cause of insomnia. Okay.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. And my last one that I normally say causes insomnia would be medical conditions. So such
Yeah.
as like maybe chronic pain. If someone maybe is experiencing, let's say even back pain and stuff, they're so uncomfortable
Yeah.
that they're not able to sleep. Or
Sleep.
even
Yeah.
acid reflux, even just a simple
Mm,
acid reflux can cause you to have insomnia
yeah.
or even sleep apnea, So all
Sleep
these
apnea. Yes.
yeah, so any medical condition that is causing you to have any uncomfortable sleep can lead to insomnia. So these
Yeah.
are my causes that I would
Yeah.
list. Is there anything that I've missed off, Trudy?
I think you mentioned most of them. With medical,
Mm,
I'd just like to mention only because a lot of patients talk about it. Any thyroid
yeah.
conditions. So thyroid
Mm,
conditions can actually cause you to have sleep disturbance
sleep.
and cause you to have insomnia.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you've mentioned most of them. But I'd like to say, and this is
Yeah.
like, I'll put my hand up on this. Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix will cause you to have insomnia. Now, I'll explain. What
Mm-hmm.
happens is you watch something on Netflix and then, or a series, start watching a series. Before you know it,
Yeah.
you're binge watching the series. And then
Yes.
you are literally 3 in the morning, you're still watching this series. You go to
Mm,
bed, I don't know, 3:30. And then let's say you wake up at 7. And then your mind, and it's a series, I don't know, it's 4 seasons. So the whole
yeah.
day, let's say it's a weekend, the whole day, you're just thinking this series, this series. So again, the second night,
Yeah.
you've gone to bed late. You're waking up early
Yes.
because you want to catch up. Before you know it, you've already messed up your sleep cycle. So
Yes.
after you finish this season, or this series, the last season, your body will be so messed up, so disoriented that you will almost feel that you almost need to stay awake. So that will
Yes.
cause you to have insomnia. So Netflix is one
So
of
true.
the
Yeah, it's so
causes of
true. I think
insomnia.
we've all been there. I've been there. I
Mm-hmm.
do the same as well. Binge watching a series, or even not even a series. Sometimes
Yeah.
there's some people that like reading, and you'll be so engrossed in that book that you're like, oh, let me continue this series. Let me continue this
To
chapter,
the
and then you realize,
chapter, yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So
Binge, any
again,
binge
yeah,
doing,
anything binge.
binge watching,
Yes,
binge reading. Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
otherwise you've mentioned all of them.
Fantastic. So let's say, for instance, someone comes to you, you've diagnosed that they are experiencing insomnia.
Mhm.
What would you advise them? How would you go about treating their insomnia?
So when it comes to tackling insomnia, as we have mentioned some of the things that can cause insomnia, so it's all about preventing the things that can
Hmm.
cause insomnia. That is the
Mm,
first step before you go into any medication or anything like
hmm.
that. So
Yes.
sleep hygiene, we always talk about sleep hygiene. And
Hmm.
sometimes when patients come in and they say, oh, I'm suffering from insomnia, can I just get these tablets? And I'm like, what is your sleep hygiene? And they're like, what do you mean? Like
Hmm.
They don't even think about that. To them, they just
Yeah.
want tablets. So that is very, very important. So it's very, very important to maintain the same bedtime. So if you
Yeah.
normally go to bed at 10 o'clock every night, you should be going to bed, unless, of course, there's a reason why you go a bit later, because that will help with setting your body into a nice sleep routine. And as you said, Steph, blue light is the worst thing that you could indulge in just before bed. So no phones before
Yes.
bed, no screen time just before bed. I'd say normally about 30 minutes before bed. So 30 minutes before bed,
Yes.
just, you, yourself, and you, like, just be in your own mind, meditate, do whatever you have to do, but no screens, no phones. Okay.
Yes.
And it's also very important that you have a nice quiet room, and it has to be dark. So if you've been suffering from insomnia, make sure you invest in, what they call these blinds.
Or the dark blinds or something.
Yeah,
I can't remember the name.
Yes, those blinds.
Yeah.
But yeah, make sure you get really good blinds that don't allow any light in.
Yeah.
Okay, because that will make sure that you sleep through the night without having to wake up, because your body's probably telling you it's daytime. Let's get up. So that is very, very important. And it's also actually very important to have a cool room. Now, I actually read somewhere a couple of weeks ago, I was just reading about this, about sleep hygiene and all of that. And I read somewhere that normally, if you sleep in a hot room, your metabolism is very low, so you might get fatter. So you're wondering why you're not losing that weight.
Wow.
It's because of your room. So let me tell you something. Since then, I've been sleeping with the windows wide open. I'm trying to lose the weight. Is it working? I will let you know end of the month.
Wow.
But literally, the heading was your sleep could be causing you to get fatter. And I was like, what?
Wow.
Read into it, and they said yes. If you sleep in a very hot room, like, this electro blanket, on top of that you've got the radiator on, you've gone your thermals, socks, all of this, that could be slowing down your metabolism. So you could be getting fatter because of your sleep routine. So it's very important, guys, to have a nice, cool room. Okay. You had that on Consultation Room podcast. So that is very, very important.
Yeah.
And of course, lighter dinners. So people tend, and we've talked about this in the past over and over again, and we've talked about it based on maybe even a cultural thing, where it's almost like a norm that during the dinners, like the late the last meal of the day, you have a very heavy meal, and that's not what's supposed to happen. That should be a very light meal, because you want your body to be able to digest it, because what's going to happen is it will take your body a bit longer to try and digest this food, so you'll be almost disturbed. So this can cause you to have insomnia. So lighter dinners are very, very important. And we have talked about jet lag. And if you haven't listened to that episode, please go and listen to that episode, because it will give you a lot of insight as to how you can tackle this as well. And one of the things we talked about was melatonin. So your body produces more melatonin in the night and less during the day. So make sure that during the day you're out in the sun, because then your body will produce less melatonin. It's almost like you're training your body. It's daytime. So don't produce too much melatonin. Then in the night, your body almost knows that, okay, now it is nighttime. So actually produce the melatonin. That way you will train your body to be able to produce enough melatonin to put you to sleep. And also another lifestyle I suppose advice that we could give is moving your body, and that means exercising. It's very, very important to keep your body active during the day. If it means going for a walk, just before or just after your meal, your last meal, so after dinner, go for a nice little walk, 30 minutes, and then coming back and, just winding down, having your shower, all of these things, that will actually help with insomnia. And as you mentioned, Steph, one of the causes of insomnia is caffeine and alcohol. So consuming caffeine and alcohol during the day, and then, or even, just before bed, you have your nightcap, or you've had your 2 cups of coffee, just before bed. Some people it doesn't, I know for sure it doesn't affect some people, but some people it will, it will affect
It
them.
will.
So
Yeah.
if this affects you, make sure you're cutting your caffeine intake. So by mid-afternoon, you shouldn't be having any caffeine, you shouldn't be having any alcohol. And also, what I've read as well is if you enjoy, if you have a journal and you enjoy journaling, that could be a way of you actually tackling insomnia. So sometimes what happens is when we go to bed, there's all these racing thoughts, what's going to happen? What's my week like? Oh, at the end of the week, I have this. Next week, I have this. Get your paper and pen or your book and pen, journal all of these thoughts onto that. So it's almost like you're taking them from your brain onto that piece of paper. At least your mind will almost be at ease to a certain level. So that will actually help with insomnia. Also, another thing that could actually help with insomnia is breathing exercises. So breathing exercises or meditation are things you can do to help with insomnia. Now, if you've tried all of this and it doesn't work, come to the pharmacy. Come see us. We'll go through some of the, questions that we'll probably have for you. And then if we see fit, we might recommend something. We might recommend some medication. So some of the medication that is available in the pharmacy is something that everyone knows, Nytol. Okay. So Nytol is very common in the pharmacy. You can come and get Nytol one a night, or Sleep Ease, which is similar to Nytol. Sominex, promethazine. It's very, very common. But only if we feel that this is suitable for you. Actually, what I normally do, Steph, is I actually recommend the herbal remedies first to the patients.
Okay.
And if they've tried that for a week and it doesn't help, then we go the route of the medicated. Exactly. But also it's very, very important to note that most of this medication, there is an age restriction. So if you're over or if you're under the age of 16, no, maybe we need to see what could be causing. What is causing you at 15 to have insomnia? You're not paying any bills. You're not getting married. So, there's probably an underlying problem. But yeah, most of this medication is age restricted. Please don't lie about your age, though. I have to emphasize that enough, okay? Because I don't know about you, Steph, but when I feel like I'm not too sure about someone, I always ask for ID. I'm like, let me just double check that, because
you can't
when
go
you
wrong
look
by
12,
double checking.
Exactly. When you look 12 but you're 18, chances are I'll probably ask you for ID. You might be flattered, or if you're lying, you might be upset. Sorry. It is what it is. But with this medication, we always say some of it no more than 7 days in a row. And if there's no improvement, I'd say maybe within 2 weeks or so, maybe see the GP, because you can be given some other medication. So there's the likes of Zopiclone and, Zolpidem, which is prescription only, I'm afraid. But they will, of course, determine whether you need this medication or not. Or maybe there's actually something that's underlying, because, and the reason I say go to the GP, not asking for sleeping medication, but just saying to them you have tried something and you still have insomnia, because they could maybe do some tests, do some blood tests, see what could be causing you to have insomnia. Because as we said, there could be an underlying cause. There's medical conditions that can cause you to have insomnia. And if this is the case, you want to tackle that cause as opposed to just masking it by treating, one of the symptoms, which would be, a lack of sleep. But yeah, this is how you would tackle insomnia. And of course, if there's other ways that you've tried, the likes of chamomile tea and all of that, and it works, by all means. It's very rare. I think I've only had sleeping tablets once in my life. I was going through a very stressful phase, and honestly, I could not sleep, and I had to get some sleeping tablets. Otherwise, chamomile tea, a nice lavender bath, lavender oil. Exactly. That's all I normally need. Is there anything you normally do, Steph? You're the queen of herbal and home remedies.
I mean, I think you've mentioned my method. Like anytime I experience any trouble sleeping, my go-to is basically have a bath. Like honestly, once I bath, it's like I'm cleansing my body. It's like a medicine to my soul. Trudy, you don't understand. It basically refreshes me. it refreshes me, and I just feel like, yes, this is it. So anytime
Yes.
I'm having trouble sleep, make sure I go shower and I'm fine.
Mm,
Like I'm fine.
yeah.
And also, I need to maybe change my sheets, make sure they're comfortable,
Mm.
new
Oh, do you know what?
pillowcases, like
In
new.
fact, that should be top of the list. Change your
Honestly,
beddings.
yeah. It just it helps so much. There's something about just
Mm.
sleeping in fresh sheets and stuff and a
Oh
pillow or and a
yeah.
cover.
After a
It just
nice
puts you
shower
at
as well.
peace. Yes,
Oh
exactly. So
yes.
that's like my number one. Like that's
Mm.
something that always helps me.
Yeah.
Um, I think you've mentioned it like herbal stuff, so maybe like tea or something. That is something that
Mm.
I would also recommend. Maybe
Yeah.
some meditation, music, just to calm the
Mm.
room. Anything
Yeah.
just to give you that soothing like
Soothing
atmosphere. I
relief.
think
Yeah.
yes, I think that's really important. I mean, I know there's some people where they put on some relaxation like music, or
Mm.
on YouTube they have like some raindrops or something which helps
Yeah.
them
Or
like
fire.
sleep.
You know the
Yeah,
fire
yeah,
burning. Yes.
exactly, yeah. So anything that could help
Help
you,
you.
that is yeah, that is
Or
fine.
white noise. I know some
um
people do the
Oh,
white
yes,
noise, you know.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. But that is basically, but one thing I wanted to mention about the antihistamines over-the-counter
Mm-hmm.
medication is that,
Mm-hmm.
Trudy mentioned, yes, it is for just 1 week. But one
Mm-hmm.
thing I wanted to say is that because people are taking it for its drowsy effect,
Mm-hmm.
antihistamines, their side effect causes drowsiness, but there
Mm.
are some people I've realized that sometimes they may say that it affects them during the day as well. So please be
Mm.
careful
Be
if you are
careful.
taking it,
Mm-hmm.
it could cause you to have drowsiness during the day. And if you are
Yeah.
somebody that operates with heavy machinery or even driving, please be careful because it
Mm.
can interrupt your day-to-day activities.
Yeah.
It can also cause a bit of dry mouth, so just be wary of that if you are taking
That's
these
true.
antihistamine.
Yeah.
It's very important that Trudy mentioned that it's only for 1 week, because I've noticed that
Mm.
some patients become so dependent on it and
Addicted.
they come to you,
Let's
they're
use the word
addicted.
addicted.
Yes.
Mm.
And they'll come to the pharmacy literally every week here trying to
It's
buy the night,
terrible.
or they'll even
Mm.
buy different liquid like
Yeah.
in the tablet.
They'll
But
be making a
please,
concoction at home to try.
exactly.
And do you know what? At
It's
this
not
point, it's not
good.
even for sleep anymore. You just like the
No, it's
effect
not.
of
It's
it.
like feeding off like, yeah, your addiction. But one
That's
thing about
bad.
these things, the more you use it, the more it's not going to work, because
Yeah.
is your body is getting used to it.
Used to
So
it.
it's
Yeah.
very important that you use it for just 1 week. Very, very
Yeah.
important. That's something
Yeah.
I wanted to stress on. Trudy also mentioned about melatonin. There are melatonin supplements also available,
Yeah.
so which we did say are very helpful for jet lag and also for like shift schedules as well.
Yeah.
So if you're someone that work like nights and stuff and you're struggling, yeah, that is also
That's
helpful.
something.
But
Yeah.
it's just to remember that they're not really a nightly cure all. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like it's very helpful for jet lag, but
Yeah.
that's
It's
about
not
it.
supposed to be a
Yeah.
routine thing. You're not supposed to always depend on
Hmm.
this. Yeah.
Yes, exactly, exactly. But that is about it from, yeah, that's it. Basically, the antihistamines and herbal treatments, those are the main things you will get from over the counter. Yeah.
That's good. Now, I think we should just
Hmm.
mention something. So we have been talking about sleep, sleep, sleep. Why is sleep important?
Yes.
I tell you why I'm saying this is because a lot of times, it's almost like a bragging point where girls are like, "No, I didn't get any
Mm,
sleep." It's like you feel like you're powerful because you didn't sleep. And I'm like, how
yeah.
is that even something you're proud of? Like I tell you what, I don't get enough sleep. That I know for sure. And I'm not happy about that.
Okay.
Like I try to, like, when I can, I try to sleep as much as I can, or even try to find
How
ways
many hours
to
do you normally sleep?
um normally I'd say maybe about
Mm,
6, 5.5 sometimes.
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Five
this
and a half
did
to
say
six.
6. 6 hours
Mm.
is sometimes enough for some people, although that's not
It's
the average you should be sleeping, but
exactly. No,
it
but
is
I know for sure,
sometimes
like,
enough for
when
some people.
when
Yeah.
you said how you can feel tired. Sometimes I feel like that during the
Yeah.
day. And I'm like, if
Okay.
only I had even half an hour more, that could help me. So as I
Yeah.
said, sometimes it's like 5.5, 5, like I'd say
Mm.
between 5 and 6 hours I sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Same,
it's
to
not.
be honest, same.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, I would never brag about it. Like, oh, I just get 5 hours, it's enough. No,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
need your sleep. And I think it's very important
You
for us
do.
to talk about the importance of sleep, because people would
Mm.
think like why should
Hmm.
I sleep? It's very important.
Mm.
Don't oversleep. Don't be out there in bed. You go to bed at 8 and you're up at 8, 12 hours. What's that all about?
Yeah.
Okay. How are you going to be a millionaire sleeping 12 hours?
No.
But but I think it's very important to also
Yeah.
discuss why sleep is important, only because people don't realize your body needs sleep,
Hmm.
not just to be rested,
Yes.
to function properly.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that the body needs to do,
Hmm.
for whilst you're sleeping. It's almost like your
Yeah.
body is on a night shift, when you're
Mm-hmm.
sleeping. So it needs to do what it needs to do. So it's very important. I think maybe we just mentioned why people need to sleep,
Yeah.
because I don't know about you, Seth, but I've had a lot of people like bragging about sleep, and this, it's made to be a thing of, if
Mm.
you don't sleep,
Yeah.
you don't get enough sleep. It's like you're up
Yeah.
here, but that's not the case. Um,
Yeah.
so sometimes I don't know about you, Steph, but sometimes when I actually go to bed, I wake up, like
Mm.
let's say like today, I was trying to remember something, or even like
Yeah.
blackout curtains. Blackout curtains. That's what we were
Mm.
trying to remember earlier, right?
Blackout,
Blackout
yes.
curtains. I was just gonna say, I probably will go to bed and I'll wake up and I'm like, blackout curtains. Because what happens is, the reason I'm
Yeah.
saying that is because what happens is when you go to sleep, your body feels out
Mm.
memories, or it feels out little things
That's
that maybe
right.
you could have forgotten, during the day. And then you wake up and
Yeah.
like, that is what that was.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, blackout curtains is the curtains you need to get to sleep properly. But I'm glad that it's come to me before I've gone to bed. That means that actually my 5 hours
Yeah.
is enough. But another thing I'd like to mention is balancing of hormones. Your body
Mm.
needs sleep to be able to balance hormones.
Yes.
And this, how we say, if you want to actually your metabolism to work properly, for you to be able to lose weight, all of this, you need enough sleep.
Mm.
That's because your
Yes.
hormones need to be balanced enough for this to happen. But if they're
Yeah.
imbalanced, again, you could be getting fatter. I'm just saying,
Mm.
okay? This is all science. It's not me.
Trudy.
No, but literally, that is one of the other things that, could be happening when you sleep. And also another
Yeah.
thing people don't realize is when you sleep, you clear up toxins. So that is also very, very
Mm.
important. Is there
Yes.
any other really important things, Steph, you can think of when it comes to sleep that you would almost
Yeah.
like be a selling point for sleep?
Yeah. I normally say, yeah, when you're sick or you're hurt, yeah, just go to sleep. Because
Yeah.
basically, sleep is when your body gets to repair itself. So I usually tell my
Yes.
kids that way. Anytime they feel unwell or they're
Mm-hmm.
complaining about
Mm-hmm.
something, they've hurt themselves, I was like, just sleep. By the
Mm.
time you wake up tomorrow, you'll be fine. So
Do you know
it's
what though?
basically giving your
There is
time, but your body
your
time to
body time
repair.
to don't,
Yes.
I'm not even joking. Just think about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you say, I'll sleep on something. You know what
Mm.
that word that people use, I'll sleep on it.
Yes.
It's not, you're not just sleeping on it. When you're sleeping on it, it's
Hmm.
like your body is almost
It's like
working as
refreshing
well,
itself, like
refreshing itself. Like,
rejuvenating. Yeah.
yeah. Because sometimes you could make a decision without sleep and it's
Mm-hmm.
the wrong decision. You sleep on it, you're like,
Exactly.
I'm glad I did not make that decision
Exactly.
yesterday.
Yes.
This has happened to
Yes.
me recently. Like me and my fiance, we had to make a very important decision, and we're going
Mm.
back and forth about it, literally for hours. And then we said,
Yeah.
okay, let's sleep on
Let's
it
sleep on
and
it.
see
Yeah.
and talk about it tomorrow. We slept on
Mm.
it, and let's say we were gonna go with a no, we went with a yes. And guess what?
Wow.
It turned out
It
great.
worked in your
So I
favor.
think it worked in our favor. So I think it's
Yes.
very, very important. Like you're right. Like when you're feeling unwell,
Yeah.
when you're feeling uneasy, go to sleep.
Yes. Honestly.
Mm,
That's my go-to. If I have a headache or
mm,
anything, I'm like, okay, let me
mm-hmm,
go to sleep. I'll be fine by the
mm,
time I wake up. Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
that's one key factor, like the importance of
Mm-hmm,
sleep. The other is, I would say, even for like long-term health, like, if you're
mm,
constantly not sleeping, it's gonna impact your
yeah,
health. So it's just for long-term,
yeah,
efficacy really.
yeah.
And also emotional well-being, when you sleep,
Mood.
It
Mm.
balances, it refreshes your
Your mood.
mood. Honestly,
Like,
so
sometimes you can go to bed a really angry person and you wake up, you're like, oh, good
yes,
morning, everyone. And it's like you're a brand new person.
exactly,
Oh,
exactly.
gosh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So those are like the main importance of sleep, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
think we've talked about the main ones.
Mm.
So this is why you need sleep. I think it's very, very important that people know sleep is
Yes.
not just a thing that you do. It's not like, going
Yeah.
for a haircut or getting your hair braided or whatever. No, no, this is actually one of the things you
Mm.
need to do to maintain a healthy body. So it's very, very, sleep is
Yes.
very, very important.
Mm.
Well, myths. We always talk about some myths,
Mm.
and I'm sure there is plenty when it
Yes.
comes to sleep.
Yes.
I think we've actually talked about some along the way.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, even like the nightcap, that is a myth.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Yeah. There
So
are
what are
a lot
some
of like
others?
misunderstanding. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm. So when it comes to like myths and misunderstanding about insomnia, I think one that I normally make is that like when you're laying in bed, tossing
Hmm.
and turning,
Hmm.
I normally say that to my husband, when you can't sleep, you will eventually fall asleep. So just
Mm.
stay in bed and
Yeah.
close your eyes.
Mm.
That's what I normally tell him. But
Hmm.
that's not the case. Like for someone that has
Mm.
insomnia, yeah, just like laying in bed will not get you to sleep
To sleep.
eventually. Maybe you need
Yeah.
to do something else, like,
Yeah.
dim the lights if that's what's causing it. Maybe set out
Mm.
like a calming tone or just do
Yeah.
something to put
Yeah.
you to sleep.
Yeah.
But just laying in bed, tossing and
It's
turning will
not.
not eventually get you to sleep. Maybe you may go to
Yeah.
sleep, but you may wake up early
Mm.
again and you still be tossing and turning. Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
something that I normally tell my husband. I'm like, close your eyes or something.
Mm.
Just lay in bed, the
Just
sleep will come.
close your eyes, you'll fall asleep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. Which is, yeah, it's a myth. It's a myth. Just
Yeah.
lay in bed wouldn't just put you to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Another, I think that normally people say, I think we've already mentioned is,
Hmm.
that I'm not sure if we did mention it. Like, let's say for instance you're not sleeping well, you normally say,
Hmm.
"Oh, I'll catch up on the sleep, like maybe on the
Mm.
weekend or
The weekend,
something."
yeah.
Like, so
There's
it's
nothing like
fine that
that.
I'm not sleeping. Yeah.
No.
Yes, there's nothing like that.
No.
You can't
No.
catch up on sleep. If you need to sleep,
No.
sleep,
Sleep. Yeah.
and do what you need to do. Practice that good sleep hygiene. I haven't
100%.
seen someone that has lost sleep for like 20 hours and then
Mm.
actually caught up by sleeping
Caught
20
up.
hours
Yeah.
again. No, that doesn't
Yeah.
happen.
No.
Okay. You're
No.
not
Your
gonna
body thrives
catch
on
up.
consistency. It's not about catching up.
Exactly.
It's consistency.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So I think that's a myth that a lot of
That
us
is a
do
myth. I think actually
normally for, yeah.
that's a major myth. A lot of people say that like, oh, I
Yeah.
just catch up on sleep of the weekend. Or let's
That's
say,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you speak to them, you're like, oh, so what did you do over the weekend? Oh, I caught up on sleep.
Mm.
No, darling, you did not
No,
catch up
you
on
didn't.
sleep. The
That was
sleep you missed on Monday, you can't catch up with. It's gone.
no. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. But I think those are like the two main myths that I have there. Obviously, we haven't counted some. We have already
Yeah.
mentioned some, but is there
Yeah.
any that you've come across or your patients have
Well,
told you? Yeah.
I think we've talked about it where I've said I normally get about
Mm,
5 to 6 hours. I mean, I know for sure that is not enough for me. So I think 6 hours should be
yeah.
okay normally. When I have 6 hours,
Mm,
I'm good. But there's this
yeah.
understanding that everyone needs 8 hours. Like, oh, what? You sleep
No.
just 6 hours? That is not enough. That's not the case. So everyone's
Yeah.
body is so different.
It's
So,
different. Yeah.
not one rule will fit everyone. So someone will need eight
No.
hours, another person will need seven, another person will thrive on six. So
Exactly.
there isn't a number of hours that everyone should have. So that I think we've mentioned that
Yes.
though. That is
Mm,
a myth. But no, I think
yes. Yeah.
we've kind of mentioned all of them. The main one I think is that whole catching up on sleep over the weekend or
Yeah.
whatever. That is a myth. There's nothing like that. But no, we've talked
Yeah.
about it all.
Fantastic. I think before we move on, I just wanted to say if there's anyone with insomnia where, let's say, you've tried all the strategies we've mentioned and it's still persistent, like especially if it's persistent for over 3 weeks or so, please do see your GP, as
GP,
Trudy
yeah.
already mentioned. And
Yeah.
if there are any other symptoms accompanying with your insomnia, let's say, for instance, sleep apnea, like, you're gasping for air, like choking when you're sleeping, it's very important that like you do see the GP so that the GP can investigate.
Yeah.
But apart from that, yes, I think that's it for me. Do
Yeah.
you have any
I'd
final
like also,
words for our
I'd like,
listeners, Jude?
I'd like to actually just also say that
Mm.
insomnia is very different from sleepwalking, because some people say, you are sleepwalking, so you aren't sleeping. Sometimes people are sleepwalking and they're fully asleep. So
Yeah.
those are two different things. And maybe we'll talk about
Yes.
sleepwalking in the future, but those are
Yes.
two different things, not to be mistaken for insomnia.
Exactly.
But my final words would be that, as we've said, insomnia is very, very common, but it's not something that we should live with. So if you suffer from
Yeah.
insomnia, there is ways that you can tackle that insomnia. There is things that you can do
Yeah.
to make sure you're having restful sleep, quality sleep. Quality sleep is
Yeah.
very, very important. And as we've said, sleep is very, very important. Make sure you're sleeping, guys, okay? Good sleep hygiene, mindful habits, and also professional help if you need it can make
Yeah.
a huge difference in making sure you have quality sleep. So if there's
Yeah.
one thing I'd maybe hope that everyone takes away from this episode, is that you need quality sleep. You need to sleep. Those are very, very important.
Yes.
But I know we've talked about counting sheep, staring at the ceiling. I would personally like to know some of the weird things that people do to fall asleep. So please send us those stories, because maybe we'll share them in our, in the future. But I'd like to know, what are the strategies that people use to fall asleep.
Yeah.
How about yourself, Steph? What is your takeaway?
Okay. My take-home message is that sleep isn't just rest. What I normally say is it's literally like the medicine for the body and mind.
Yeah.
So if you're struggling to sleep, please try some of the remedies that we've mentioned, the strategies that we have mentioned, and please don't hesitate to contact any healthcare professional if you are really, really struggling and anything is not helping to improve your sleep. So if you've enjoyed this episode, please like, share, comment what Trudy mentioned, please. We want to know, okay?
Yes.
And do share it around for somebody that it would help. So for now, have sweet dreams and thanks for listening. See you on the next episode. Thank you for tuning in today. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember, a healthy chat is a step towards a healthy life.
If you have any topics you'd like us to discuss, drop us an email at consultationroompod@gmail.com. Our Instagram is @consultationroompod. See you next week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay blessed.